part of us as well. You know, these are guys of our cousin. I'm helping the culture. I'm pushing the culture forward in another way.
Hey, black child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow.
What do you do after you read? What do you do after you know all, right? And you can say that you're truly conscious. How are you putting what you know into action?
That was a little loud, but it's okay. What is up, y'all? I'm your host, Jasmine Gates. Let me turn these mics down. I don't know what's going on with the boards, but I'm your host, Jasmine Gates. I'm back. I've been gone for 3 weeks.
Hey.
But I'm back. This is the new Black History Makers show. First of all, welcome. If it's your first time, if it's not your first time, we appreciate you being here. But I am back. I was in South America and Central America. I left for 18 days. But yeah, I'm back now. So glad to be here.
How was it? How was the trip?
It was great. It was great. It was really a necessary trip. If you know me, I travel. I haven't traveled since the pandemic, so since 2019. So it was good to get back into that, you know.
Where all did you visit?
So I did Guatemala. I had 2 long layovers in Panama and Costa Rica, and then Peru and Colombia, and then Mexico City.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed myself. So yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for asking about my travels. But we will I will do an episode on my travels and stuff. I always do when I come back. But there's a more pressing topic that we need to talk about.
Well, what
more
is
pressing
that topic?
issues. So if you follow me, or if you follow me, Black History Makers, or almost anybody really that's like in the LA area, they've probably posted about Andre Spicer in the last few days. So he ran for the city council seat in District 2 in the city of Compton back a year ago. Yeah. So your campaign started what, January?
January
Of
2021.
Yeah. So he ran, and the election was basically like, you know, it was robbed from you. So or from him. So it's been a whole year of a lot of ups and downs, a lot of everything. I'm sure people forgetting about the election and everything, but this week the election was finally overturned and rightfully given to Andre Spicer, who's sitting here now. So I'm excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here, Jazz. It's been a while since I've been important enough to be invited over here.
No,
that's cool.
Okay.
I'm finally here now.
So mind you, I thought I invited the councilman.
No.
So clearly I didn't. If you don't know, me and Andre, we have a history and we're pretty close. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're gonna get today. But he is a councilman, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. How do you feel though?
I'm super excited, man. I've been on cloud 100 since last Friday when they announced the changing of the guard.
Yes.
And ever since then, man, I've just, it took me a while to get up on cloud 9 because I actually couldn't even believe that it had happened. A friend of mine that's actually in the media had called me and told me. It wasn't even my lawyer or anyone else. I'm like, well, congratulations what? And yeah, I didn't even like believe her until they actually sent me the actual proof. I needed to read the documents.
Yeah.
So I was getting congratulation text messages and emails and phone calls before I even like read the document to know that I was in. But ever since then, man, I've been on cloud 9. I'm just excited. I'm happy. I'm relieved. Overjoyed. It's. I feel like I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah. It's been, I guess, a lot, and I'll say nobody has really felt it the way that you felt it.
Yeah.
Like your name was on the ballot, whether it be the initial feeling of like, dang, we gotta, even the counting of the ballots, right? That was something different because that wasn't something that we experienced before because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So the ballots were counted differently. That drug it out. That was like, we thought that was like the waiting, right? We were like, oh, the 10 days. Okay, boom. And then we literally, you go into the trials. We're like, okay, we're going to get an announcement then. And then literally 365 days later.
Yeah, it's literally
Yeah.
364 days from the day that the election ended.
Yeah.
It was election day on June 1st of 2021, and I was sworn in May 31st of 2022. So it was literally a full year.
Yeah. And then what was I gotta do the intro. I'm tripping. We gotta
start
check
talking.
in. Right. Yeah, because and we haven't really talked about it. We've just been at events and been around or whatever. But there's so many people that are in tune, that I know that don't necessarily care about politics, that won't sit there and talk to me about, anything that really like matters, right? But people that were like, oh, that guy with the, with the locks, I keep seeing that you're posting him, so it was something for me where people were like asking me, and I'm like, but he haven't said nothing. I'm like, they almost forgot about the election, because it's like it literally was 300, like you said, 64 days. So it was a lot going on, but people were like rooting for you and also like paying attention. And I think that just brought a lot of morale to a lot of people. Like, it's beyond the city of Compton at this point. Like, this is a big deal. And I'm excited to see like where things go, how people are affected by this, who this like inspires and stuff. Like I was telling you offline, like this is gonna take you into a snowball effect of like being able to like live your life, and really capitalizing on this. So I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited for the opportunity to make change. That's really the main thing. And as cornball as this might sound, it really was to better the community. I mean, even when I say it, it sounds cornball, right? But I genuinely care about changing the makeup of the city. I've dedicated my life and career to changing the image of Compton.
Right.
And so now I get a chance to actually be hands-on with that change and implement my own ideas and trigger new ideas, resources that I've never had access to. Now I have access to. And it's just exciting to even just have these opportunities. I mean, even the things I've learned this week about the budget, about new projects coming to the city, about, COVID relief money being available to the community and different things like that. Now I'm just learning all of these different things. And it's like, man, I'm really at the table.
Yeah.
We ask for this all the time. We just want to be at the table. We want to be at the table. We want to have some decisions. We want to make some decisions. And now that we are, because, I'm governing with all of us, with all of us in mind, to say, all right, well, what do we want? How do we want to get there? And I just, it's been overwhelming, but in a good way. Yeah. Like my first day, Wednesday, was just like learning about the budgets and, the departments and who does what and what they're spending. As for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, I was a liaison for Councilwoman Chambers. And so I learned a lot of how City Hall works. But now I get to know the other side. I can go into meetings that I couldn't go into, read the documents I couldn't read. And so, it's just giving me a new perspective.
And that's so good. It just means, it means a lot. It's the representation as well.
Yeah.
I think me seeing all the news segments and stuff and knowing that there's probably, little boys sitting with their grandparents or their parents or something and seeing you on Channel 7, on Channel 9, and just being like, wait, he on there for what? Like, or hearing, like this election got overturned. So there's so many different areas where this means a lot. And then especially like you said, being at the table, there's so many of us that are doing, good things that are connected to you, right? So like we're one here supporting you, but then also like, at the table with you.
That's the thing.
Like,
yeah, because I've really been a stickler for casting the roles that are in my life. Meaning, let's think of your life as a movie, and you're casting people for certain roles. Does that person fit that particular role? And I've been doing that for a while in my life and just setting up my cast, and everybody plays their role to a T. And now I know I have an all-star cast, and
Right.
now we have the opportunity to take that all-star cast and uh, give opportunities to make the changes. Everything, all my people, respectfully, not even trying to be cocky about it, but all my people is y'all the ish. You know what I'm saying? We do. Everybody does their thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy to be a part of the groups that I am, whether it be with you or with the Giants Den or with the Hub Radio or with my team that's putting in the work, the
Yeah.
Ninis, the Alleys, the Taynays and the Corys, all these people that are doing so many different things
Yeah.
in the community, in their families, and just where their heart is at, their work ethic. These are the people that I want to be around. This is dope that you can, life is good right now.
Yeah.
You
Life
know?
is good. I've been putting that on all of my Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Life is different and life is good. Yeah. But it isn't. And, we've all grown, like you said, we've all been like in our own bag, but then we've all like stayed as a collective and still made sure like, oh, okay, when T started Compton's Black Exchange, like, okay, here I am, I'm coming in, your resources are here, right? And then most of us got our resources from you too. So me even like being aware of politics and me doing what I did for the elections last year, right? That put in new Black history makers on a certain pedestal, right? But that was because of my connections to you, or me listening to you, or you like being like, the spill that you were giving about the 100,000 citizens and 45,000 registered, 3,000 active voters, like that, and telling people and really researching it, and then being like, wait, it was my age group, like you said, that wasn't voting. So it was like, okay, what am I doing? What are we doing to make sure that that's happening? And being able to go and tell people like, well, the last election got over 10,000, people to vote. So it's been cool to be around, but you definitely like, I'm thinking about like 2017, pre 2000. Well, before that, I'm young, but that's when I came around.
Right.
Everything that you're doing is now like we're seeing it come into fruition.
And it was always to build a hub in the hub. Even with the Hub Radio, it was always to bring slogans, bring people together for the better.
Right.
And it was all about having these different genres and groups that's connected that can come together and make a bigger melting pot of gumbo or whatever it is that we have. And it's actually been happening. All these people that's come through to the Hub Radio have got resources, work together, built on their own things separately, and come back and we build together. And just that's the way I think communities should work.
Right.
And you just got to be the example that you want, that you want to set for people. And that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, it's been dope to see. So now let me get back on track. Yeah. So normally, of course, we do a check-in. So the regular, like, how are you doing? And then y'all know, if you watch the show, I always ask a random question because I was reading an article and it was saying like, we need to get in the habit of not just asking people like, hey, how you doing? Because usually people give like a generic answer, right? So usually when people come on the show, they give me a real answer of how they're doing. But then I asked the second one. So I think you kind of said how you're doing, but you want to answer that?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay. So then,
does that sound too generic? I mean,
it is generic, but we'll take it. It's okay. That's why I'm asking the second question, so we can get another answer out of it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we know what, I guess, the good things that have happened, right? So these questions are random, but the one for this week, or the one that I want to hear from you, is what made you upset this week. I feel like we know what made you happy.
What made me upset this week? Wow. This week, I don't think nothing could have brought me down.
Wow.
I've been on such a high, man. Nothing has brought me down. I can say that there's been like very little like negative response to what happened, to everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Not everybody is happy,
Mm-hmm.
and you read stuff online and people get to hate and different things like that, and it would piss off my team, and they'd be like, "Can you believe blah blah blah? Oh, we need to tell so and so this," and then they'd be ready to go, like the squad be ready to roll. Yes. I'm like, guys, what does it matter?
Right.
Like, I'm so happy right now. So like, it's like nothing that anyone could say or do to bring me down.
Yeah.
Definitely not with words.
Right.
So I can say that this week has been all smiles for me, very little frowns. Overwhelming with the responsibility. So I can say that, sometimes it feels overwhelming learning a new language, and gathering all the information and um, having the balance of being a resident and citizen and still governing.
Yeah.
So there has to be a balance there. I can't be like, all right, I'm Councilman Ray and I'm only going to be looking at the bottom dollar. I still have to look at it from a residential standpoint.
Yeah.
And so it's just, constantly keeping that balance in my head.
Right.
But none of this stuff is making me upset or mad. It's just like, yo, let's just get
That's
ready.
great. I think that's something that, a lot of Black men don't get, to give the answer. Like, oh, this week didn't bring me anything,
Yeah.
that made me upset. So I'm like, that's dope. I'm glad, because it has been like a great, week. And like I said, it's not just for the city of Compton. It's not just for like you and your family. Like this means a lot to a lot of people that don't even know about it. Like this is gonna carry weight. And you've crossed over into like you're a politician now. So like you're in a whole new like category of Black male politicians.
I like to be considered a public servant.
Okay. I mean, what
politician has a negative connotation to it.
Okay.
Especially here.
Well,
But-
okay. You're now
Public
into
servant.
public servant. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should change the servant thing, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's okay.
it's
But yeah,
it's
but
all
you're
wordplay.
you're there. You're in the world, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Black men that have taken political seats somewhere.
Yeah,
So that's good.
and it's an honor to be here. It's really humbling. Being at my beginnings and where I come from, like I had no intentions on being in politics. This
Right.
was not my thing.
Right.
Yeah, but it was. I think I just saw that I could be effective, and that's the plan. And this is not even like a lifelong career choice for me. I don't believe.
Yeah.
I believe I really just want to make the difference and the change now. And man, I'm not gonna hold the space up for nobody. If somebody else comes in better or brighter and smarter, and
Yeah.
it's out there, and I'm hoping to even raise some people up, myself to replace me. And
Yeah. Hopefully, so I don't have to come for you when you leave.
nah, man, we got. I would definitely gonna build up the youth and the future of Compton, and we're gonna get some more younger people in. And it's not a slight to any seniors, but it's just it's our time.
Yeah.
We have not been we haven't been conditioned to replace our seniors in these arenas,
Right.
and I want to help to change that.
Yeah, that's good. So let's talk a little bit about the election. So I know we know and we've touched on it a little bit, but just go over like what actually happened. So
Man,
ran the campaign.
these fools cheated me.
Right.
No.
Okay, right.
Okay, no. So I started my campaign in January, but in December, people were calling me like, yo, I know you about to get into it, but you need to watch out for these cheaters. They cheat this way, they cheat that way. And then, when you're first getting into it, you're like, man, I don't want to hear all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just, let me get out here and do my thing. And as time goes on, you hear more and more of it. So I figured, well, we just got to go harder. If you're going to cheat me, I'm going to make sure you're going to have to cheat big.
Yeah.
And if you cheat big, then you're going to be exposed. And once you're exposed, I got you.
Right.
And that was and that was my mentality.
Right.
And so the team, we went hard trying to get so many more people engaged. And then over my career, it's been that. It's been trying to get more youth engaged in the voting process. So it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I didn't campaign like most people would campaign, meaning like most people are going straight after the voters. I know this group of people vote. I'm going to talk to that group of people. And that's how people campaign. Like, all right, y'all the group that's voting. All right, let me talk to y'all.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I understand the numbers are a little different. There's 100,000 people in Compton. There's 45,000 registered. The average voter is 65 years old, but the average age is 25.
Yeah.
So that means to me, I need to go talk to the 25-year-olds
Yeah.
and engage them. So now if I get half the 25-year-olds, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so my focus was to engage the youth. And you engage the youth by talking their language.
Yeah.
You know, find out why do I even care about politics? What is this important to me for? So you start to learn how to engage a younger audience, and that was my angle. And so we did good. We got probably about like a 30% increase in voter turnout um, for the election. And then it come to find out I was down by one ballot, which was a little odd to me because I know for a fact that he didn't have support. I know for a fact that, and not no support, but I know it couldn't match to ours. And I also knew that he didn't campaign at all.
Yeah,
He didn't campaign not even a little bit, and we
Right.
bust our ass.
Right.
His whole campaign was anti-me, so it was he put out a few flyers just strictly about me. Had nothing to do with him and what he can do or what he had done. So when I saw the numbers come out where he had one more vote, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And we went back to when people were telling us, hey, this is how they cheat. This is what goes on. So, and then we just so happened to get a call from Kimberly Chouch, which is she was a volunteer for his campaign, and she hadn't been paid. She was pissed. So she called us spilling the beans. I committed voter fraud. 20 other people committed voter fraud. None of us live in Compton. We all registered to this place, that place, that place. So we took note of all that. And we paid for a recount, knowing that the numbers wouldn't change. So I'm spending $6,600 for a recount, knowing the numbers aren't going to change. What do I do that for? Well, I do it because I want to see the ballots. I want to see the envelopes. I want to see all that came in. I want to do my own research. And that's what we did. So we sat there for maybe about, it's probably about eight hours going through all of that, the ballots and the envelopes. And we put together our own list of what we felt was questionable. And we took, and it was way more than that because there was a few things that we saw in there that wasn't correct. Like my ballot wasn't even found. I couldn't even find my own ballot. So it was a few different things that was kind of weird. But we took our evidence, went to the DA's office. They felt that it was some good information. They did their research and investigation, and they began to make arrests and indicted Isaac Galvan for voter fraud and bribery. And
this was at what month?
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, the election ended in June. We put everything together by end of June. July we submitted it. August they made the arrest.
Okay.
By September, two of the people that they arrested already made plea deals. A third plea deal came later, and they all just said basically, look, I don't live in Compton, never did. I registered and voted illegally to this particular address. And they don't want no problems. They just, nobody wants to go to jail for 2 or 3 years for voting illegally. So it was real easy. Once we found you, it was, you want to make a deal? Right. We don't want you.
Right.
We want, the source.
Right.
And so they made their deals. So
that wasn't enough. Well, clearly it wasn't. But what were they telling you?
Well, see, that was so there was a criminal case.
Okay.
That's a criminal case.
Okay.
All right. So he was charged criminally. Him and 5 other people were charged criminally. And I talked to my lawyer, and I'm understanding that if and when they finally go to trial and he's convicted, then they remove him from the seat. But that doesn't guarantee I get in. So the council could have appointed whoever they want.
Right.
And I didn't have the confidence in the council to believe that they would appoint me. Right. So we talked to the lawyer, and he figured, well, the best route to go is civil suit, which is odd because you usually do the civil suit after the criminal. It's very rare to do a civil suit first and then the criminal.
Right.
You're found guilty on the criminal or in whatever, and then we come hit you with the civil later.
Right.
That's usually how it goes. So this was definitely way different than anybody, and it was where it's for an election, it's voter fraud, it's a civil case, it's before the criminal case. Like all this stuff is unheard of. No one's done any of this at this point. So I figured that was the best route to go. And luckily for me, they rushed the process. That might not seem like it from my standpoint or from the resident standpoint, but the truth of the matter is all this stuff happened in August, June, July, and August. Here it comes around all the way to March, and I'm in court, dealing with my civil case. I'm in the same courtroom with another trial that was going to start after me. And they were like, man, when did you, file your paperwork? I let them know, back in August, and like, well, dang, we've been suing these people for 4 years and we're still haven't gotten in. So I'm listening to all this. I'm like, wow, like my stuff is moving fast. So I can't even be mad at the system. You know what I'm saying? And the system hasn't never really worked for me or people like me before. So I didn't really have so much faith in it. But I have to say that in this case, like they moved quite fast. It was that at the end of the trial, the judge took about 5 weeks to make a decision. Right, yeah. That is what felt like forever. Right. That felt like an eternity.
Right. After all this other time, but yeah.
And then even with that, so we have like it in the trial, civil trial. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. In the civil trial, we had so much evidence against him. We had 10 people registered to a 1-bedroom apartment of one of his associates. Right, yeah. We had and two of those people came to court and was like, hey, look, man, I ain't never stayed there.
Right.
They came to court and like, I ain't never been there before.
Right.
We had residents talking about it. They was offering them, groceries or
and like tacos.
Different things like that. And just offering them different things to get people's vote. So we had several different
and let's hold that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But we're going to talk about these tacos and the different things that they were offering to bribe the people. But we'll be right back, y'all.
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I might need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming. The Podcast Pit is coming.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I might need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming. The Podcast Pit is coming.
Emmanuel Jones, also known as Zach, the original Black Ranger. Hey, and make sure you're checking out TGN Radio. Hey.
Peace, family, brother Reezus. I'm here. You already know I'm checking in with TGN Radio, Black owned, so you already know that's where I'm at. Tap in.
Hey, beautiful people. It's the baddest bitch on the block, Eric Devante.
And it's me, Kelvin Unique, and we are the Get Right Radio Show.
Here on TGN Talk. Are you going to church on Sunday?
Hell no, I'll be right here live at 10. We got all the celebrity entertainment news with my favorite segment.
Bitch, you better read.
And of course, I'm going to get you right and get you out that door spiritually with some Uniquely Speaking.
Oh, I need it. The kids need it. And this is why y'all need to tune in to us every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. here only on TGN Talk.
Get your boogie on. Nah, just kidding with y'all. What's going on, man? It's Devontae Green having some fun. We're going to have fun at our show because that's what we do. TGN Talk, 7:30 p.m. Monday, live from the den. Tap in.
Sundays just got sweeter. The Hub Radio presents First Sundays Open Mic, hosted by Hub City Dre, DJ Gamma Ray, and the First Sundays Band. They're inviting all singers, rappers, comedians, and poets to show up and show out. Sign-ups begin at 6 p.m. Sundays Open Mic will take place every first Sunday of the month. It's just $10 before 8 p.m. and $20 after, so arrive early. The address is 1135 East Compton Boulevard. That's 1135 East Compton Boulevard in Compton, California. For more information, follow them on IG at First Sundays Open Mic.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Alex Himes from Courtside Radio. We'd love to have you tuning in every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. right here on the Good News Radio Network. Don't forget to tune in every week, people.
All right, y'all. Welcome back If you are listening on the app, this is the New Black History Maker Show, and I am your host, Jasmine Gates. I am joined by Councilman Andre Spicer. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get the volume together all the time. But yeah, joined by him. We're talking about the most recent overturned election that happened in Compton. When was it overturned? Monday?
It was overturned on Friday. Friday is when it was overturned. Yeah.
So something very recent. I know, politics is something I feel like our community is starting to try and be excited about. But this is definitely something that you should be paying attention to. But yeah, we're just going over what happened. He's mentioned that it's been 364 days since the actual election until the day where you were sworn in. But we're just kind of going over like that whole process and why it took so long. And then he's letting us know that it actually happened rather quickly. So just kind of going over like what does that process look like and what process did he go through? So he was telling us about the bribing and stuff that you guys knew. So that was the call that you guys got, or those were
Well, no, the
multiple
bribing is what DJ Gamma Ray actually experienced during the count at the
initial vote. Well,
the initial vote. Yeah, he was there at the county
the registrar's
office. Excuse me. Yeah, and he heard Galvan outside offering someone concert tickets, which happened to be an employee that was I'm not sure if she was in charge of the count or had anything to do with the count, but she definitely worked there.
Right.
And he tried it, and it was pretty bold about it, pretty blunt about it, did it right outside the registrar's office in front of people. So we had that. But then also I think another damning piece, and people should probably know this too. We had a resident that voted for me, and her vote was never counted. And they told her that her signature wasn't verified. They said, well, this isn't your signature. And she's like, well, it's my signature. We'll verify it again. So she verified it again, sent it in, and they still said it wasn't her signature. So she came to court and got on stand and said, this is my signature. I live here. I voted. And the registrar's office supervisor got on the stand and compared the signatures and said, yeah, this is the right signature. This is the same signature. If I saw it, I would have counted the vote. So the judge says, well, go get the ballots. Go get the ballot. And registrar's office says, well, we destroyed it. And it kind of raised a red flag. And, so everybody moves on. Trial ends. Judge has all this evidence of, voter fraud. And she's like, okay, well, we'll make our decision in 10 days. Right. Well, at day number 8, she calls me and says, or she emails the lawyer and says, hey, registrar's office lied and said, and they actually do have the ballot. Wow. And they didn't destroy it. And so she's like, well, do you guys want to open it? Hell yeah, we want to open it. Right. That's I'm separated by one vote. So of course I want to open this one vote. And she gives Galvan and him a chance to rebut. And he's like, of course, no. And then they asked the registrar's office, and the registrar office said, no, we don't want to give up the ballot, which was alarming because here it is. This lady verified her signature not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Right.
Then your supervisor verified it, and now you don't want to produce the ballot. It makes no sense. You're literally telling this woman her vote doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting to tell people that they vote actually matters.
Right.
So it's it was that struggle right there, and I think that was probably the most frustrating part about this process and waiting. Because I'm thinking, okay, well, the judge, that they lied about the ballot. Why couldn't we just pull the ballot?
Yeah.
And but luckily she could make the decision based on other information and all the other evidence we provided, and she just deducted some from his tally. But at the same time, still that one vote still didn't count, and that's really still telling someone that their vote doesn't matter.
Right.
So we have to be let's be conscious of that, the signatures and getting it verified. I mean, this this process isn't perfect. The people that build it aren't perfect. There's nothing perfect about it. So we have to do our part to make sure that we're getting what we deserve.
Right. No, that's so true. So I'm gonna go to these comments. Shout out to Mysterious Jax.
Yeah,
Say
Jax.
congratulations again, Dre. We are also proud and happy for you.
Thank
we
you.
still believe the future mayor of Compton. And then she said it's really an honor to know you. And ever since our paths have crossed, you have always been about your community. It's really amazing to see how you have grown. I think that's what that says.
Those comments mean a lot like that to me because when people can acknowledge that this wasn't a campaign for office. I've been campaigning my entire career,
Right.
but it hasn't been for office. It's just been a campaign.
Right.
So I appreciate when people make those acknowledgments.
Right.
Thanks, Jax.
Yeah, and then on YouTube, too blessed to be stressed, she is the truth, said yes. And then shout out to Danny, one of the
Danny,
Giants.
though.
Yes, salute to you both. Thank you, Danny. And then
Mr. Follow Through.
Dre said amen, and then Aonisha said yes. So thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
And if you're on Facebook, I can't see your comments, but if you're on YouTube or if you're on the app, be sure to download the app as well, the Good News Network app. There's a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of great shows on the network and everything. So shout out to the home team.
Yeah, shout out to the Good News, man. The good family. I love the Good News family, man. That's like really family to me.
Yeah.
So shout out to the whole Good News family.
Yes. So okay. The 5 weeks where the judge was like waiting to make a ruling. Did you guys talk to her, or what was why did it take that long?
No, we're scared to talk to her after she's, you don't go pissing off a judge.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, you don't go pissing off a judge.
Well, so nobody knows what took the 5 weeks.
No one knows what.
No one
I'm
knows.
not going. I wasn't going to ask. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to be patient. Wait.
So when then what is that process? Because you said a friend told you that about the ruling. So your lawyer didn't.
My lawyer was actually traveling.
Okay.
He was traveling. I believe he was traveling to New York, and I had contacted him early that morning while he was headed out, and that whole day was just wild because of all the information that was going on, all the news that had come out. So that whole day was wild. And yeah, the news wanted a comment from me. What you want to comment from me for? I'm not in trouble.
Right.
And it was congratulations. And so because of all the things that were going on with Galvan at that time, I believe it put a little more pressure on getting the decision out. And I can't say that for a fact or not because I have no idea. That's just my assumption.
Right.
And it was a little pressure. And you have news stations and calling, the sheriff's office and the courts and all these different things to get information. And they were able to pull that information before my lawyer got it to me. I would have much rather had got that information from my lawyer.
Right.
But my lawyer's dope as hell. I'm not going to take anything from him. Like Fred Wuscher, Salvador Perez, they are amazing. They got a lot of things done for me. Fred Wuscher has a history in Compton where 21 years ago, he did something very similar in removing Omar Bradley from office and getting Eric Pearden in. And then here it is 21 years later, he's making another huge impact. So his name is cemented in Compton history for what he's done. But they're just amazing. So I'm not mad at them for not, getting that information first, but
right.
I definitely would have rather had it.
Right. No, yeah. So, and let's also go into what has taken place with the Galvan thing, because that was like the precedent thing that we were seeing all day. And then it was like, oh, and then he's not the councilman anymore. Dre is.
Yeah.
So that's what, just so that there's a little bit of context when you're saying like it was a lot going on that day. Like there definitely was a lot of news circulating for the city of Compton.
Yeah, it was a very sad situation. I didn't want to tie it too much to my own, my appointment.
Right.
So I didn't really mention it too much or talk about it much. But my heart goes out to the family that lost a life.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to the Blake family. That was even pulled into that situation to be involved.
Right.
So I don't want to talk bad about them, or it's a really touchy situation. You know what I mean? Like we're still talking about lives that were, or a life that was lost, and a family that's grieving. So I don't want to make light of that at all. Uh, I pray for peace to that family, to both families.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with Galvan. I'm not sure if he's going to be charged with murder or not. But honestly, like this all this stuff sounded so crazy even when I first heard it.
Yeah.
Somebody called me and told me, "Hey, so and so got arrested, on murder charges." I'm like, "What?
Right.
That sounds crazy.
Right.
What are you talking about?"
Right.
And so it took me every bit of 5 minutes to look it up. And then I'm like, "Oh, this is real."
Right.
And then you start to find out a little more information. Like, how the hell is this happening? Like, this sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a cheap movie. Respectfully, it sounds like a cheap BET movie. It sounds like one of those movies. It's like, what? That doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
And then, has our name attached, Compton.
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
It's one of those things where you have, the tale of two. I don't know if it's two.
The tale of two tales, or
tale of two tales, maybe. I mean, because it was something great that happened, but then also this is here, and because of Galvan, it's attached to District 2, and your councilman. So
yeah,
it's an interesting thing, but I mean, yeah. So Friday came. You got it. What were you doing though when you found out?
I was watching the basketball game,
Okay.
the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm into it too. I'm like, all right, don't call me with this. Send me the paperwork, and wait till after the fourth quarter is over.
Right.
Yeah, that's literally how my mind was, because I had been through so much with this trial. I thought I won several times.
Right.
I celebrated several times. Like, yes, victory. What do you mean I'm still here? What do you mean I lost by one vote? What do you?
Yeah.
So, I just wasn't hearing it. I'm like, man, look, I'm sitting here watching this game. I'm a Celtic fan, so I'm just happy about the game.
Right.
And they're calling me about that, and then the Celtics start to lose. I'm like, well, forget the Celtic game. Let me read this paperwork.
Right. Let me get some joy from somewhere else.
I think the Celtics lost that game on Friday, and I didn't even care. I was like, dude, I won.
Right.
I was like, they lost, but I won.
Right.
So and then it still didn't even seem real. Because you hear about it, all the congratulations, the texts, the emails, the DMs, and that goes on all week. I mean, all weekend. I still haven't caught up to all the messages. And then they're like, yo, we're going to swear you in on Tuesday,
right?
Which is like the first day of work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait a minute, like that fast?
Happening fast.
Like, I got plans. Like, I got something to do. I got something to do, brother. Right. But nah, it came fast. It was a lot of support on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I didn't expect so many people to come out on a Tuesday at 1:00, but the community was extremely happy.
Yeah.
Of course, my family and my friends and the team is happy, but to see the entire community, and I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about young and seniors. I'm not just talking about Black people. I'm talking about Black and I'm brown and Caucasian and Pacific Islander.
Right.
We got all that, and Asian. We got all that in Compton, and I'm getting love from all of them.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and everybody feels that I can represent for them, or I can represent for a group of people, this group of people.
Yeah.
And that is an honor for people to feel that way about you.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I gotta make sure that they feel like that
Right.
next year, but which pushes a little pressure on you, I guess, if you don't think that you can do it. But I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Like, we repping.
Right.
So y'all gonna feel like this next year.
Right. And it's great to see just everybody there. I think it gives people another sense of hope, but it's also interesting because done, of course, just research on all Black things and Black male educators, even though there's very few of them just across America, but they're like the top person that anybody goes to, like in school, like if there's a problem or if they want to feel like they need to be advocated for, if they just want like a listening ear, the students and staff will go to these Black male educators. So it makes me think about you, and now like the city of Compton seeing you is like, wow, we see ourselves in you, you know, or I feel like I can trust you, or I feel like you are gonna advocate, you know, on behalf of us. So them seeing this young Black man, not, you know, an older person, but a young, you know, Black man. I mean, you know, well, you can still be young.
I'm a millennial.
Young compared to the other councilmen.
Jasmine trying to call me old right now, guys.
But yeah, so to see that, and then also the city council, and you know, of course, I'm a Black woman, but I'm one of the thought that I don't necessarily want leadership to only be women. And I know we're going into this like fem movement, right? Of like put women first, but I'm like, I want balance. If I'm being leadership, I do want a Black man, you know, there. So I think I'm happy for, well, Bowers is in now, right? But still young, right? Millennial. Let's go there. But I'm happy to see what you know, a millennial Black man is gonna do in that seat. Because we just haven't seen it.
Yeah. Going back to the average age of Compton being 25, it's a young city. You know, it's a young city, and I feel that I can relate to to a younger generation, and I understand some of the struggles that maybe my seniors may not understand, and I can come with a different compassion because I, you know what, one of my old coaches, he's a huge supporter of mine, but he's been coaching me since I was like 7 years old, baseball, football, and all the way up to, you know, high school. And he told me, he's like, Dre, you are literally the bridge between the young and the old. And it made a lot of sense because I do find myself in both of those arenas, you know, just, you know, having these conversations and being able to relate with both of them and communicate with both. So if I can be that bridge in the community to make this thing better, then, you know, I'm definitely going to do that, and I'm standing and be that bridge. So, but yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to communicate with both.
And the older women love you.
Yeah,
They like adore, right?
yeah, man. Shout out to my senior ladies. Ladies. No.
They really love Dre.
Nah, man. I do, man. I love them too, man. It's like having like a whole bunch of aunties and grandmothers and stuff out there that really, like, some of these people genuinely care. You know, and they see that I care for the community, so that's what gives them the care for me, I believe. It's not even so much, oh, I like the way he walks or his locks or he's cute or I like him. No, it's because they can relate to, you know, they see what I care about,
right,
where my heart is at.
Yeah, you're a really likable person. Yeah, people like you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have that.
No. People don't like me.
Well, people like me because of the work that I do. So they appreciate what I do.
They
People
appreciate
genuinely
the
like you as a person, and that's good.
So they don't care about my work though.
No, but your work also helps us. So then they like fall in love with you. They're like, oh yeah, Dre. Like, you know,
that's cool, man. I pray that I can maintain that.
Yeah, Dre has taught me a lot though, because I won't say that I'm a hothead, but he's taught me to.
No, yeah, you have been.
Okay.
Go ahead. You were saying.
Because you know, in the fields that we work in with the community, you're gonna and you have seen it where there's people that you have to work with that are gonna cross you, right? But you still have to work with them.
Yeah.
Or you still have to deal with them, or you're gonna see them multiple times and you can't beef with them all the time. So one of the most important things that he's taught me that I've kept is compartmentalizing people, you know, and not necessarily holding those emotions of being like, no, I'm putting you here, you know, and you're going to stay there. And I'm not going to allow you to kind of get me out of my character. But I'm like, you know, before it was like, oh no, you made me feel this way, so you got to go over there and I won't ask you for nothing else. But, you know, if you want to be in the game for a long time, you got to know how to
Compartmentalize.
you got to outwit these people, and even when they cross you, you got to make sure they know that they crossed you. But it's like I'm gonna be here for a long time.
And then one thing I feel like we lack in our community, specifically Black, because obviously I can kind of relate a little bit more there, and I'm pretty sure this kind of transcends to other cultures, but compassion. We lack compassion for one another. We don't even take into account like I do deal with attitudes. I do deal with people feeling some type of way for whatever reason. I respect it. I have to hear how they feel, even not, and this has nothing to do with politics. This is just being a compassionate person.
Right.
Like our people deal with so many different things,
Right.
and that weighs on somebody's energy. That weighs on their soul. That weighs, So when I go into situations and I get negative feedback, it's not even always me. And we got to understand that. Like, ain't not even tripping with me. You tripping with you.
Right.
And
Right.
but I can't respond like you're tripping with me, because if I respond like that, then now you are tripping with me because you're offended by how I responded. But if we have compassion, say, hey man, Jad, you relax. I'll be back. I'm gonna come out at you, or maybe we should look at it this way. You're just kind of changing how we handle people. We have to do it with a little bit more care, and if you do that, you start to spread that energy. It's just like speaking to people out on the street. I'm a stickler for speaking to other men. Like, hey, bro, what's happening? Like,
Right.
it's no beef. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
hey, what's going on, bro? And it changes the energy in the room. At the Hub Radio, as one of my main rules, especially with the men, it was like, when you see another man come in that you don't know, speak,
Right.
acknowledge them, make them
He
comfortable
said,
here.
speak.
Speak to them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Don't look at
Yeah.
them and be like, all right, I don't know that nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, speak. Ask him if he wants some water. Ask him if he needs something. You know what I'm saying? And all my staff does. Everybody on the team, they good with that. And people say, at the Hub Radio, like, this feel like home. Like, I'm comfortable here. Like, y'all cool as hell. I can put my guard down. Ain't nobody tripping no more. Everybody laughing and joking. And it's just all about the energy.
Right.
Yeah.
In my shelter, but when I first started coming around, I felt safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
My
what you say in your
little
shelter?
trim stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no, and I think all of that transcends or translates into why you're the right person for the job, right? Because you being that example, right? So you being the example of like, no, I know, on the streets, it may not be this, or y'all may not speak to each other, but when you're in my space, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And being that example for other men, right? That like is what you're doing now, is being that example for other men. Like, this is what we can do if we want change in our communities. This is how we can go about doing it. Seeing how we can fit into these, whether it's a political seat or some type of leadership position.
Mhm.
But people, I've seen the way that men, like, the way that they respect you, and men don't give up respect, like, just freely. So it's definitely been something where they've always, like, even before you started running, like, it's always been like, Dre always doing something for the city, like, we appreciate him, whatever. But they like see you, and it's like they see themselves in you too. So I think it's just yeah.
It's easy to stand out in arenas like that when people are selfishly about them all the time.
Yeah.
And I want who I am to be the norm. I don't want it to be, it doesn't have to be highlighted it wouldn't be highlighted if everybody was like that.
Yeah.
And I like to, get more people to just be a little more compassionate to people, so that it's not the odd thing. It's not like, yo, Dre's different. Nah, like, this is the energy now. Like, we're changing culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, my kids and nieces and nephews are going to definitely be a little different than how we were coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't speak to each other. We'd walk by. I mean, it was times where we could walk by, up, down, sizing people up just on the street, just walking by. And you can imagine what kind of energy that does. You know what I'm saying? What kind of energy that breeds. And things are starting to change. So it's not like that anymore. I'm just talking about how, I'm old. So I'm talking about the old days.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but it's good to see that, and just to see the change and stuff. I think it's going to be really great. You're already sounding like a councilman. talking about compassion for the people. You're gonna shake hands with the old folks and kiss the babies.
Kissing babies. And,
Yeah.
well, we got COVID now. So,
All right. So
kissing
no,
them,
no
high
kissing
fiving babies, fist
Right.
bump.
Air five. Right. So we're gonna go on break in about a minute or so. But what are you looking forward to in the near future?
Man, making serious change. Seriously, like that's it. Like I'm here now, and everybody's happy I'm here, but ain't nobody gonna be happy if I don't do nothing.
Yeah.
So
they'll turn on you real quick.
They'll turn on you quick,
Yeah.
and I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked hard to get you here, and you ain't did nothing.
Right.
So no, it's to be effective. Like I have to be effective.
Yeah.
And it's going to be changing the makeup of Compton. A lot of the visions that I have for the city, I'm already seeing that it's tangible. Even just in this week, I mean, there's something that's coming up on the agenda. I don't know if it's going to be on there this Tuesday or in another couple Tuesdays, but it's this project that I'm excited about. I had a meeting today earlier about it. Like, yo, this is pretty dope. I can't wait to bring this to the hood. So you're going to see a lot of different changes and stuff that's just been held up because you just had the wrong people in the right places. Now you got, the right person in the right place.
The right person.
Yeah. So now we can start making some things happen.
I love that. So real quick, but well, I guess how has the receiving been from the other council members, or have you talked to them?
Yeah. I've been able to talk to everybody except for one. So I've spoke with Miriam Sharif. I spoke with councilperson Duhart, councilperson Darden. So I just haven't spoken with Councilman Bowers as of yet. Look forward to a conversation. I know that him and Isaac Alvan were pretty close, or it seemed that way. And so, we just haven't had a chance to come across one another. And,
Well, yeah, I hope that happens. Well, we're going to go to break real quick. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Only on TGN Sports.
Are you happy with your life, money, career, or relationships? Most people are frustrated with how life is evolving around them. What if you could change one thing to turn your life into a different direction? Would you want the insight? How could you transform your life with intuitive awareness? Learn more. Get answers today. Book a free discovery session with Coach Zena, intuitive transformational practitioner. Go to www.coachzena.com or follow on Instagram, coach.askzena.
Yo, this is Jay Saline from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extras hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Hey there, business owners. Don't miss our limited time offer. Advertise on the Good News Radio as low as $2 per commercial slot. That's right. Promote your business up to 4 times a day, every day for a month on live radio. If you're interested, email us at contact@tgnradio.net. Once again, that's contact@tgnradio.net.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the podcast pit.
What's the podcast pit?
I'm glad you asked. The podcast pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The podcast pit is coming. The podcast pit is coming.
Hey everyone, it's the Primos Chidos. Hopefully you're enjoying this show, but if it sucks, be sure to check out our show, live Thursdays at 12.
Yeah, join me and my sister and basically my brother as we discuss everything from immigration to ejaculation.
If that sounds interesting, then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive topics, graphic content, and uncensored stupidity. Unless otherwise stated, the featured content is not discussed by professionals or experts. TGN and the Primos Chidos must advise against taking anything said on this program too seriously. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's up, business owners? Are you looking to take your business a step forward? Are you looking for more people to know what you have to offer? You are in luck. The Good News Radio has a special deal for you right now. You can get a commercial slot 4 times a day, every day for a month. If you are interested, email contact@tgnradio.net for more information.
You're
Excuse me.
Hey, we are back with the New Black History Maker Show. I'm your host, Jasmine Gates, and I'm joined by Councilman Andre Spicer. Yes. It's crazy because I've been calling you the mayor for years.
You have.
He told me I was getting him in trouble, so I stopped calling him the mayor. But now I can or justifiably call you Councilman.
The Councilman.
Yes. So,
Councilman Dre.
Councilman Andre Hub City Dre Spicer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I was talking to somebody, one of your friends, and they were like, y'all have been talking about this for years, and not necessarily you being in a seat, but just the change.
Yeah.
And they were just saying how much this is representative of like that change. It's one thing because so many of us as Black people, regardless if it's because of resources or whatever, but like we don't get to be a part of the change, right? We just talk about it or get on social media now, and it's just like whatever. But to be here and to see like you're there, it's like, wow, this is us being a part of that. Us being connected to you and knowing you. It's like, wow, it's no longer talking about it anymore. Now it's, like, how do we implement? How do we support you? How do we show up?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy. It's a new day. Like,
and the scary part about it is once people see the change, then we're going to get way more of us involved.
Yeah.
And then that's when it's really going to blow.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the smartest. I'm not the toughest. I'm not the brightest. There's so much more people that are so much better than me in certain areas. They just didn't have the opportunity. If this could inspire another generation or some younger people to get involved after they see this happen and the work that's going to get done, if that inspires the next generation, they ready to come in and do the same thing or do it bigger and better. I mean, look at our future. You know what I mean? That's our future right there.
Yeah.
As corny as it sounds, but the children are the future.
Right.
But it's about inspiring them and motivating them and giving them something to reach towards. We all watched American Gangster, and Frank Lucas' mother said to Frank, I mean, if you would have been a doctor, your brothers would have been doctors. If you would have been a lawyer, all your brothers would have wanted to be lawyers. But it's because you're a drug dealer now, all your brothers want to be drug dealers. And it's the same concept in our community.
Right.
When we see one person successful, we tend to, hey, that's inspiring.
Right.
And then we can gravitate towards that. We just have to give our people something new to look at,
Yeah. And they have something new to look at it's like I said, it's just been crazy seeing you on the news and stuff. I mean, like, and we've all been on the news for different things, like throughout the past years, right? But I'm like, this is
thank God I was on the news for something positive.
Right, yeah. All of it. Well, have all of your news been positive?
Yeah.
So this is it's of course it's definitely different. But then let's also get into why you were qualified. You've been, and then also this is what I wanted to talk about. I don't know who the guy was, the older Black guy who gave a speech about you.
Former city attorney LeGrand Clegg.
And he was friends with your dad.
Yeah,
Okay.
He knew
That
my
was
dad.
so. I was telling T. I was like, I didn't know who he was talking about when he was talking. I was like, I want to meet that person. He was talking about you though. That was funny, but but he gave such a great speech about you.
Yeah,
that was so good. I
that
was like,
was
wow,
he spoke
really
highly of me,
put
man.
that together.
I said to myself, dang, I want to meet that guy too.
Yeah, I was like, wow, is this Andres? This is the councilman. Okay, he's introducing us. But let's, before I go into why you were qualified, but that day on Tuesday, you sat there multiple times and seen other people get sworn in or have sat there in council meetings, and you've advocated for the city. Now Tuesday it was your turn.
Yeah.
You sitting in the front and everybody being there for you. What was that? Like, I know you said it was a lot of people, but
Man, it was surreal. I've been able to get people to come to a party. I've been able to get people to come to some open mics, to come party with me. But my biggest struggle has always been to get people engaged in politics and to have a victory like this and be supported by so many people. Um, I almost brought a tear to my eye, low key, uh, because it was just it was it was humbling, and it was very humbling to see it, and man, I didn't know what to say. I mean, it was news there, it was family, it was friends, it was community, it was people that only knew me on social media, and they had been so huge in supporting. As soon as they said their first name, I came with their last. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew who they were.
Yeah.
Never seen them before in person, but they like, bro, I've been following, I've been supporting for so long, and they took time out of their day, middle of the week, middle of the day, to come through and sit in there for 30 minutes to say congratulations. That meant the world to me. Um, and it just kind of like showed how much community support I actually have.
Yeah.
Um, so much that the people that didn't want to see me in that position were scared to even come up there. They planned to do a protest that day, and it just wasn't. I'm like, yo, that's not gonna go too well.
Yeah.
But
It's not gonna go too well.
yeah, it's not gonna
It
go too well,
wasn't. It
guys.
wasn't. Yeah.
Not everybody is as passionate as I am, so it probably.
Yeah, but it definitely was somebody. Bobby from the Giants thing. He was like,
Bobby G.
Yeah, it was, and I was so happy. And I've told you how I love seeing you. Shout out to the Giants, did, but you in that space with the Giants and stuff. Just seeing that y'all have that and y'all are able to just be black men together and love on
Man,
each other.
that the Giants Den is so freaking important to me, to the culture. I mean, people don't even understand how important that is. I have never, ever been around a group of men, one group of men that was so positive, that was so uplifting to one another, that had so many things going on themselves. Like I'd never have been around that, and it's relieving. It's a huge relief to have these people around you and be so supportive. Like Bobby, it's so many of them. I don't want to but Bobby is one of those people, man. He comes through and supports every chance he gets, man. And I just want, it's a lot of them. Like the whole den is that way.
Mm-hmm.
The whole den is that way, man. And all those dudes feel like brothers, all of them. And like I go to the World's End for them, and I feel like they'll do the same for me. Yeah, man, like that. The Giants Den means a lot to me. Like I said, it's just a group of positive black men, and it can be so infectious to my community. The only groups of black men that are together, it's not the most positive, environments. So that's it. You know what I mean? You can even be in a frat or, and it's still not like that.
Yeah.
I'm not in a frat, so I don't know for sure. But, I would imagine like this is strictly about positivity and uplifting and they care. And it's like real resources there. Like they care about your mental health. We're talking mental health. We're talking finances. We're talking how to build up the next generation. We're talking everything positive, everything uplifting of people. And it's not too many groups like that I've been around. So man, I love those guys.
Yeah. Shout out. So, I mean, even for context, the owner of the Good News, he's a Giant, and then there's the Giants have a show. I believe it's on
Mondays.
Wednesdays. I think it's on Wednesdays now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's on Wednesdays. But yeah, I've had a few of them on here, but yeah, it was dope for me when I saw Bobby walk in because it's like, I know what that group means to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even, of course, they have their own lives, but like it was him and I think another guy, right?
Yeah.
But to see like, them just supporting you, and them being there for you, it's like, yeah, he got all of this or all of us that are supporting you, but like there's a a group of strong Black men that are behind him, and to see you standing up there and know that they're behind them, that they're behind you, is like, it's dope, because we don't see that, we don't, unless it is like a frat or something. So to see it on this level where we are, and then to know, Devontae created that,
Yeah.
it's like, that's something that's really dope. But
it goes back to my community. It goes back to my casting. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
Everybody's doing their own
everybody's doing some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that they cast me to be in their lives. It's the same thing. We're so freaking dope.
Right.
Everybody, it's so dope.
And it's cool too. I know we talk a lot about like the collaboration thing, but like we all, and it could be to toot our own horns or whatever, but like we all, came and were inspired by something or whatever and decided to start our own things. And now that we have our own things, the people around us are able to benefit from what we have. So Devontae going and starting the Giants Den now, Dre is able to benefit from that. Keith going and starting the Good News, I'm able to benefit from that. Or me starting New Black History Makers, y'all are able to wear that merch, right? Like you being where you're at, you're now able to provide like resources and actual change for people that live where they are. But it's like we went, into our little holes and created our things and now presenting it back to the world. And now it's like everybody's able to benefit from it. So we only move up, from there, especially with all of us doing something.
Just identify the energy that you put out there with just the merch. You know what I mean? Like when you see people in New Black History Makers, it changes how you even look at that person. You know what I mean? Like you're not coming at them with, you can have on all red in the 60s and it says Black History, New Black History Maker. You might feel like, you're gonna be like, hey,
like, hold up.
All right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the brand that you created, like, is amazing because of the energy it carries with it. Today I was in the mall and I saw this lady. I was sitting down eating, and this lady walked in and she had a New Black History shirt on. And she had a Compton face mask. So I said, I have to know this lady. And she walked right. Yeah, I knew her. She walked right up to me. We started talking. But I'm like, yo, but when you see people in the merch, she's like, it feels like family. It's like it's just a love that's out there. And then you realize that person has a love for themselves and their culture.
Right.
And that's what your merch brings to the table. I don't know if you even know that, but people really love the energy that comes along with it. It's like you power up when you put on New Black History Makers.
Well, this is a perfect moment. I was going to give you this. So this is new merch.
Oh, I get some new merch.
He's the first person outside of me that gets to see and wear this. But this is the new merch that we're dropping.
History Makers.
With the logo on there.
You already know I'm finna rock the hell out of this,
large?
man. I am a large.
Okay.
So I want my muscles to pop out.
Right. So this is new. No one has, few people have seen it, but no one
has it.
Yeah.
So I'm the first one to officially have this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. You know how to make me happy, Jesse. That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, that's new merch.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So we're getting ready to push that design out. You guys know we have the I'm a New Black History Maker design, the Watch Us Make History, and now this kind of like fancy History Makers one with the logo. So I'm excited to see what this does. But yeah, I'll be dropping it.
What does it remind you of, Jazzy?
Church.
I knew you catch it quick.
He's so irritating. You also had to support some preachers.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, the church. No.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
No, they came out. It was dope just to see. Every group of people in Compton was represented.
It was because I literally saw, like, I had the judge there. Mm-hmm. Judge Kevin Fowler there. I have senators there. Yeah. Senator Isidore Hall was there. LeGrand, former city attorney. Then I have Bone, who's a gangster / movie producer. Then we have some of the homies from the neighborhood that came through. Then we had the Giants there. And, we got just so many different groups and genres that I belong to. Yeah. And able to, just maneuver in those different worlds. And they all showed up for me on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. It was good. It was really good. And I've been there for some events, and not all the events go well. There was nobody outburst, nobody said nothing. It was just smooth. They let it go, and it was just really nice, because I've been there before where multiple times where it's just they won't let people get their shine, but they let you get yours.
Yeah, I was hoping that nothing happened, man. During the campaign, in politics, specifically Compton politics, people will take whatever shots that they can to knock you off your rocker.
Right.
I don't personally respond, but my family doesn't feel the same way.
They're like,
So,
we're not in office.
we're not running for office straight. We're with all that. So I'm like, yo, I need you guys to stay offline. Don't even look at stuff. Don't even because they was taking shots at my mom, taking shots at my wife, just taking shots at myself, and it's they just whatever they can to try to dig up, and they were ready at the swearing in. They was like, if anybody show up with any of that stuff, like they had tennis shoes, I'm like, yo, y'all gotta relax, bro. Y'all can't get me in no trouble like that. But again, everybody's not as compassionate as I am. So if you're gonna come up there talking crazy, and it's probably gonna be somebody that likes me a little bit that might respond. And yeah.
No, that I mean, and like you said, his team is behind him. I like Smoke a little bit.
Yeah, I know you
For
do.
a good reason.
I know you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's done well for me.
It's the balance of life
Yeah.
from time to time.
Calling out I don't call out everything, right? But when I do call something out,
I know what you
people
mean.
listen.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but let's go into a little bit, because you're overqualified, right, for this position. You've been in the city for your entire life. You're a business owner. You've been a business owner here. I mean, in Compton. But a lot of people may not know that and know why it is such a big deal, or why so many people do support you. So let's kind of get into your history here in Compton.
Sure. Was that for me to say?
Oh, well, I mean, he's a business owner, so he
uh,
owns 3 businesses: the Hub Radio,
Yeah.
Waterworks, Naturally Me Beauty Bar.
Yeah.
All in Compton, all in District 2.
All in District 2.
Which you don't really hear of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on buying back my neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
And being the change that you want to see. Like, just stop talking about it, just be it.
Right.
And if you're not open in the business, which is fine, you support the businesses that are there,
Right.
that you feel like you should be supporting.
Right.
But yeah, the qualifications. First off, there's only basic qualifications to run for office, and those basic qualifications are that you're 18, that you're a U.S. citizen, and that you live in the district or city that you're running for. That's it.
Right.
Now, everything else is a bonus. I'm pretty versed in the different businesses. Pretty versed in community building and organization.
Yeah.
Activism. People know me to stand up for what I believe in. Even if I'm standing by myself, I'm standing. I think people just picked up on my vibes and my heart, and just knowing that I really want to change the image of the city. And it's not something that I said for the campaign. It was something that you guys seen 10 years ago when I started the Hub Radio. It's always been there. It's always been about changing the image. This just happens to be the platform that I feel that I can make the biggest change. I'm definitely deviating away from your question, though.
Well, no, you talked about your community outreach, but I mean, also all of that, matters. You starting a Hub Radio, right, to bring people together. That matters now today, especially in your position. And then also the water store, right there. I've just randomly heard people, like, I was in your hair salon and hearing a mom come in there talk about how she sends her kids to the water store. And they just don't have like this good water right anywhere else, but she was just like, I love sending them over there, right? And it's like, oh, that's so dope, that they can see it. And then also, like I said, the representation, right? Them walking in and seeing that you own the store. And then with the beauty bar, what you guys are pushing with that, and just making it a space where Black women, or I guess any kind of woman, could come in there and get their hair done. The beautification, like that matters to us, so.
So the thing about these businesses, the Hub Radio was there because I just wanted to have a platform to showcase the diversity that Compton has. The water store came about one opportunity, but then two, anybody that knows or been in Compton know that Compton, not all of Compton has good water. Some parts of Compton has been known to have, not the freshest water. And then we also can look at situations like Flint, Michigan, where they don't have any good water at all. And so here it is. I have an opportunity to provide water to the community, and not just provide water, we can provide the best water. So we have all these filters and all these different things to UV lights and all this stuff to make the water purified and clean it up. But then I also added alkaline water. And the reason why I added alkaline was because if anybody knows anything about alkaline, it's perfect for flushing out your system. So if you have like any gout, diabetes, high blood pressure, diabetes, all these things our community has. It's all in my community. We all have it, and this water helps to flush that out of our system, helps to clean our system out. And then for people that don't know, alkaline water is only alkaline for 5 days. So if you're buying it out the store, likely it took a couple weeks to get there. It's probably been in the back, it's only been on shelves, and it's just not alkaline water no more. Now you're paying for the marketing of alkaline, but you're not getting alkaline. So I wanted to be able to provide fresh alkaline water to the community that needed it the most. And then we just started adding other healthy benefits to sea moss, which we have the best freaking sea moss out there. Like Vibe 90 is killing it right now with the sea moss. The flavor they have: strawberry, mango, berry, bladder rat, elderberry. It's all these different flavors. And we got in the organic cold pressed organic juices from Zen and Juice, which is another bomb company that just are supplying us with the best in alkaline. Best in cold pressed juices. Yeah. So, and all this is just to build up the health of the community. To cut back on, if it can help cut back on some of the drugs that you take. I feel like I'm winning.
Yeah.
And then the hair salon was really because I have a family full of women. Yeah. So I know some of the struggles that women go through with hair. Yeah. And back in the day, in order for a Black woman to get a job, she had to straighten her hair and look presentable.
Yeah.
And because that was the standard for so long, we forgot how to take care of our hair. Yeah. Because we don't even know what our texture is anymore. We don't even know how it waves up. We don't even know what the kinks are, or we're not even happy about it. We're saddened if it don't wave. We're like, what the hell is this?
Right.
So
what's going on?
yeah, so we just fell out of touch with learning how to take care of our hair.
Yeah.
And with that, obviously, you don't feel beautiful if you're not taking care of your hair, or if you don't have the weave in, or it doesn't go all the way down to your ankle, or what I'm saying, like all these different things. It's like there's so many other hairstyles that you can do, and strengthen your hair.
Right.
Like I have couple people in my family who's like, one of my family members, she stopped wearing weaves. She's like, oh, so you're going natural. She's like, yeah, I just had to grow my hair back. And that's what she said. And her hair started growing back. 4 months later, she gets a weave. What sense does this make? You know what I mean? But it was because she wasn't conditioned to, one, looking at her natural hair, her natural hair texture, or how to take care of it. Yeah. So if we could provide a service that could make people a little more comfortable with their own, then, like that meant everything to me. My daughter now is at the age, she's 16 now, and you can't put her hair in ponytails no more, and barrettes and stuff and all that. So it's like she's thinking, well, can I just get my hair pressed? And it's like, no, there's something else that
that you can do. I love that. But it just shows that you care about the community.
Yeah.
That you want not only for the policies to benefit them, but for their experience, their life experience. to be good. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Or like this literally, it's a new day.
It
I'm
is
like,
a new day.
yeah. So we have about a minute left, or a little over a minute. But I mean, anything you want to leave with the people, say to people, what's coming up? How can we
So
support you?
this weekend we're lit. This weekend tomorrow we're doing at Waterworks, address 609 North Long Beach Boulevard. We're doing a Fountain of Youth. That's where we are giving away alkaline water to the whole community all day. Well, not all day, between 12 and 3. Whatever you bring, we're filling up with alkaline water. It could be a water bottle, it could be a 1 gallon, it could be a 3, it could be a 5 gallon. We're gonna fill it up and send you on your way. No cost, no questions, no nothing. Plenty will also be there providing produce until they're out of it. So they're giving away all their different produce. They have greens and vegetables and all these different leafy greens and whatnot that they're going to give away. My Giants Den partner, KC Chris, is going to do a step aerobics. We've paid for it. He's bringing out the boards. It's completely free to the community. If you want to come out and get your exercise on, burn a couple calories, start your Saturday off that way, please show up.
Yeah.
Also, we have the Volunteers of America will be there providing services to veteran families. So if you have somebody in your family that was a vet, it could be a cousin, it could be an uncle, it could be, anybody in your family. There's going to be resources there available for you. And then, of course, we're going to have the whole store there. Zen and Juice, Vibe 90 will be there. So,
I love it.
Yeah, it's all about building up the health of the community. And then on Sunday, we're celebrating my victory at First Sundays at the Hub Radio.
Be there.
We have open mic.
Yes.
It's the First Sunday's open mic. Starts at 6 o'clock. Address is 1135 East Compton Boulevard. You can sign up to perform starting at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 8. We have food there. We have drinks there. We have poets. We have singers. We have comedians, rappers, just talented people.
Right.
Talented people of the Southern California be there, man. So we have a live band, DJs. The talented people of Southern California. So yeah, man, that's what we got going this weekend, man. And you could just follow me on social media for any other updates. I am Hub City Dre or Andre Spicer District 2.
Yes.
For my political Instagram.
Yes, the Councilman.
The Councilman Instagram.
Yes, for coming in, allowing New Black History Makers to be. This is like one of your first extensive interviews.
Yeah, this is. Yeah. You guys been here for a long time.
But yeah, I appreciate you. I'm so proud. But yeah, this is big. So, I'm right here all the time.
Yeah, man. Well, whenever you want me to come through, whenever I'm worthy.
Always.
She had to wait till I got a title to bring me back.
No, that is not.
I ain't been in here.
Well, we just brought the show back.
Oh, whatever.
Anyways, well, you got brand new merch, so yeah. But thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next Friday at 3:30. Be sure to listen to all the other shows and stuff, and then follow us on New Black History Makers. Also, go shop Fox Hills Mall, Melrose, Unloved, LA. We're there, and then we have new merch. This is part of it, but new merch is coming out. I'm excited. But yeah, all right, y'all. Have a great week. We'll see y'all Friday.
Enjoy. Doses.
Without the power of God behind everything I do, I really am completely inadequate.
I'm helping the culture. These guys are part of us as well. These are guys of our cousin. I'm helping the culture. I'm pushing the culture forward in another way.